The UK government wants to make heat pumps smart. But here's the thing, they kind of already are. Is this just another piece of pointless legislation, or is there any actual meat to it? Let's dig into it and find out. Now, earlier today, I was reading through the news and I came across this article on The Independent. They reported that UK governments want to make heat pumps smart and save households money. So the government are proposing legislation that says heat pumps and electric vehicle chargers will have to be sold with smart functionality under plans to help customers make use of cheaper energy tariffs. I'm pretty sure we already have this today. They say that smart appliances can adjust their usage automatically, allowing customers to use energy when it's at its cheapest, such as overnight. And they claim that a household that already charges its electric vehicle overnight using time of use tariffs can save up to £332. And by doing the same with their heat pump, they could save a further £100. All of this wisdom from the Department of Energy Security and Net Zero. They really need to get on top of their government department names. You can't just keep adding things together. Anyway, the plan would introduce requirements for heat pumps to be sold smart ready, whatever that means, in line with legislation that already applies to electric vehicles. So the legislation around electric vehicles means that you have to be able to set your electric vehicle to charge at certain times of the day, i.e. it needs to be able to be scheduled. Can anybody identify a single heat pump that they've got that does not support scheduling today? Apparently this will give heat pump owners the choice to activate smart functionality, making savings by heating their home when energy is cheaper, saving around £100 a year compared to the cost of a gas boiler. Yep, we have all of that today. We don't need extra government legislation for it. So the question really is this really meaningful legislation, or is it just more government red tape? Because it seems to me that we're already doing all of this today. Now, when we actually dig into the proposed legislation, what we see is they're saying that all new heat pumps must be smart ready, without actually giving a definition of what smart ready is. Apparently this applies to hot water cylinders, heat batteries, storage heaters, and basically any form of electrical heating. They must support off-peak usage, and they must be interoperable across energy suppliers. So basically no locking you in by saying if you buy a heat pump from Octopus that you can't ever leave Octopus because they're managing your heat pump. It must include cybersecurity standards. We'd have hoped that was built in to start with, but anyway. And apparently the rollout of the legislation is rolling out over a 1-year period with a further 20 months for compliance. So the reality is this will be sort of 3 years before it actually becomes something that is enforced. But let's look at heat pumps today. We already have weather compensation so that we adjust our flow temperatures based on the external temperature to use them less energy. We have scheduling options so we can decide either when to ramp up or ramp down the heat in the house. And we have the ability to turn the heat pump off or on at certain times. We already have smart tariffs. Octopus Cozy is an example of a smart tariff that is built specifically for heat pumps. We already have integration into home automation platforms. My heat pump, I run it through my Home Assistant automation system. You can run them through apps on your phone or integrate them into lots of other home automation platforms. And we're already saving money because we already have the smart tariffs, we already have the smart features. So why do we need extra government legislation? So let's ask ourselves, why is the government doing this? Well, it will bring some level of standardization across models. So it will ensure that there is a core set of features that no matter which heat pump you buy, they'll have to maintain this. And this could be viewed as a way of stopping very cheap, low-cost, low-quality heat pumps being imported from countries like China and flooding the UK market. it can also prevent supplier lock-in. Now, the only supplier that I know that is an energy provider and has a heat pump of their own brand is Octopus. And Octopus have been very clear, there is no supplier lock-in with their Cozy heat pumps. You can leave Octopus and you can still continue to use the Octopus app to manage your heat pump even if you decide to go to another provider. Now, one key thing in here is the government are going to mandate minimum cybersecurity standards, which I think is a good thing, but the government has never really been up on cybersecurity. It's just one of those things. They're always trailing behind. They're never really at the cutting edge of cybersecurity. So by setting a minimum standard, what they're actually going to do is force all manufacturers to say, well, that's the standard we're going to comply to. And that standard could be woefully inadequate in a couple of years. But one of the other things that this piece of legislation is going to do is it's going to prepare for the 2027 implementation of what's known as half-hour settlement. So today, most households in the UK that are not using a smart meter with a smart tariff have their energy based on an average use over a long period of time. Now, we all think that our meters just count the exact number and we get a bill at the end of it. But that's not the way most energy companies work. But by 2027, they all have to move to what's known as half-hourly settlement. This means that your energy use will be recorded every 30 minutes using a smart meter. It allows your supplier to bill you based on the actual cost of the electricity, not an average over a period of time. And it also allows for the introduction of smart tariffs, time of use tariffs that will allow people to save money. Because there are still an awful lot of people in the country who can't or won't get a smart meter. So the question I have is this too little too late? Is this solving a problem that doesn't exist? Because all of the major manufacturers of heat pumps have been doing everything that's in this legislation already for at least the last 5 years. So by the government coming in and regulating it, are they just adding extra paperwork, things that people have to fill out to say, yes, we're compliant? It just seems like retrospective legislation for the sake of it. Now, everything that I've just talked about that we already have today is great for the tech-savvy consumer, people who understand home automation, who want all those bells and whistles. So maybe this legislation has been brought in for what I would call the average person, the person that just says, I need a new heating system, I want a heat pump, I just want it to work, I'm not interested in all the apps. It's about making sure that they get everything that they're going to need in the future, whether they use it or not. So let me ask you, is this just catch-up regulation? Is this the government doing what I call busy work? They're just keeping themselves busy, updating regulations, when really they should be spending 100% of their energy bringing down energy prices first. That's what I would rather see them doing, not bringing in legislation that just adds unnecessary paperwork for the heat pump manufacturers who are already doing everything the government is going to ask them to do. But they should be bringing down energy prices. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you think this legislation will have any impact or if it will end up being harmful to the rollout of heat pumps. With that, it just remains for me to say thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you found this useful. I will put a link to the article in The Independent in the description down below if you want to read the full article. But do let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care.